Where are you going? What will you do? Hey, it's Megan, brings the world to you.
Hello everyone, we are at Gilchrist, Blue Springs State Park in High Spring, Florida, near Gainesville. And this weekend we are camping. This is our campsite. I'll give you kind of like an overview of what it looks like. We just pulled in and we haven't set up camp yet. So this is what our campsite looks like. A little camp ring, super shaded. And then that's where our car is. So we have like really no neighbors to speak of other than like over there and over there. So we did bring a public sub to eat lunch. So we're going to eat lunch first and then set up camp. So that way we're not hangry for food. So we just got everything set up. We got the tent set up and all the stuff in the tent ready to go. And we've just been kind of hanging out and relaxing. And we did eat lunch, so that's always a good thing. So maybe we'll go down to the spring in a little bit. So we did come down to the springs. There are a lot of people here right now, so I won't really show too much of it. And I also forgot a card for my GoPro to take into the spring. So tomorrow we're going to maybe come down early before it gets too crowded and put my phone in a baggie to take into the springs so that way I can show you what the springs look like on the inside and it won't be so crowded. So we're back at our campsite. And I think we may try to go down tomorrow in the morning to the springs, depending on how cold it is. It's supposed to get down in the 50s today, or tonight, overnight. So we may go down there in the morning before the park officially opens, so that way there's not like a load of people down there. We'll see. But I think for the rest of the day, we might go for a walk later. We'll see. But we'll be around here. I'm in the tent. We sat around the campfire, and it's just got to the point where I'm ready to go to sleep. So until tomorrow. So it's next morning, and we slept longer than I expected, just because we're camping. And I woke up. It was about 45 minutes after the park had opened, but there aren't that many people here right now, just because it's chilly this morning. Like I think overnight, the low overnight was I think the low overnight it was like 52 or something. But that might be not be cold for some people, but for somebody from Florida sleeping outside, it's pretty chilly. Pretty cool. Just go over to the bathhouse not long ago, and if there were cars here, people in the pavilion, I don't know. It's chilly, but it's not packed out there. But the springs are at 72 degrees. And I don't know, maybe want the outside temperature to be a bit warmer. But until then, we're making coffee. And this is how we're doing it, just because our campsite has no electricity. I thought I would go on a little walk about, not anything too far, but just a little bit. So I just came across another spring. And here, obviously, it's they were working on doing restoration for this area, it looks like. But if you look, try to zoom in, you can see where it's such a reflection, it might be hard to see it. But it's kind of bubbling up a little bit, and that's actually the spring head. But again, like reflection might make it hard to see it on the camera. You can definitely tell it's pretty clear right in this area. The reason why I'm imagining they've kind of shut off this area for people to swim in is probably because so many people swam there. It wasn't restricted before it became a state park. This was actually privately owned land. I don't know when this became a Florida state park, but I know it's the newest Florida state park. So all the vegetation that would have been down in the springs, I've heard would, like, all the vegetation, like, basically died off. So they were working on getting that vegetation growing back. So that was really cool to see that deer just come right up. Um, it came closer than what I filmed just because, I started to kind of get, I don't know, it wasn't that I was nervous. I was just excited to see a deer that close. Hey, dear. She came back with a friend. There's another one over there. Back there somewhere. I should have timed to see how long it would take for the coffee to perk. It's just now starting to perk. Probably half an hour on the fire. So it's a minute before I could get my first coffee in. I feel like I haven't really vlogged terribly much this weekend. I plan to do more, it's just we were enjoying our time, so I didn't pick up the camera nearly as much as I probably should have. So, that being said, I thought I would share with you the things I enjoyed about this park, things that I didn't enjoy about this park. I had to get some coffee first, though. So at this park, there are 2 camping sites, I guess. The first one is kind of looks like this. It's really spread out. I think there are 7 sites back here, and it's just for tent camping. There's no hookups, no electric, no water, nothing back here. So you pretty much just have to pack in everything and not need electric for anything. What I like about this is it's really spread out. You're not sitting on top of your neighbor. Whereas with the RV and the other campsite, which is for RVs, and you could tent camp there as well, they have the electric and water. Like, those sites are right on top of each other. So I've enjoyed being back here quite a lot. And plus, we're at the far end of the campsite, like, we're at the very back. So the only people who've ever, like, walked back here are people who are going to these, like, trails back here. So that's good. I could probably count on one hand the number of times I've seen somebody, like, walk back there. So it's really quiet back here. It's nice. That's what I really enjoyed about this park. With a caveat, Jenny Springs is right down the road. And apparently they have a huge Memorial Day party. And it's like that way. So we're still on the far end of it. But like at night we could hear their music. It's not so obnoxious that you can't like deal with it, but it's not what you expect to hear at like 11 o'clock at night. The main thing that I didn't, so the what it would be called, the sound from Jenny Springs, kind of like a downfall. And the only other thing that I really didn't like about this park, 2 things. Number one, there's one bathhouse for day guests and campers, so it does get kind of gross during the day. So there's that. Um, I kind of wish there was a separate bathroom for the campers versus the day use people, but it's a small park and it makes sense where the bathhouse is. Like, it's a shared spot. There's that. The only other thing, the spring itself is beautiful. Just getting into the spring is a little awkward. Um, you could either, there's one spot that you could walk into the spring. That gets really muddy during the day. And I'm clumsy, and I just saw myself just slipping and falling trying to get into the spring. The other spots that you could step into the spring are very like rooty with the tree roots. And so you kind of have to like climb over, like, there's no steady footing. I am not good with steady footing trying to get into something. So, like, that's kind of a downfall for me. I think I would have enjoyed the springs a lot more if I knew getting into the springs wouldn't cause me a bit of anxious nerves, thinking I was going to fall getting into the springs because of the mud and the roots. A lot of the springs that I've been to in Florida, there's been sure footing ways to get into the springs. So, and they did have a boardwalk here. It got damaged by, I think, Hurricane Irma. It hasn't been replaced yet. Um, but that would be like the one thing that would make this place a lot better. I feel is like something. I mean, for a lot of people, walking through mud isn't that big of a deal, but like I just see myself slipping and falling, and I'm sure there are other people like that as well. So that's kind of a big negative for me, at least. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close up the vlog here. I am going to drink my coffee, and we're gonna start packing up pretty soon. So take care. See you later. If you have not liked and subscribed, make sure you do so. Leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.